This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And tonight from the Valley of the Sun, we're at Chase Field in Arizona. The final stop on the road, regular season game one, the Cardinals and Diamondbacks. And welcome to the broadcast booth. I'm Dan McLaughlin, that's Brad Thompson, and Jim Hayes is with us as well. The math, it's pretty simple. The magic number, it sits at 4, a lead of 3. And there's 6 games remaining in this regular season. And a special night tonight for the St. Louis Cardinals and their first baseman, the return of Paul Goldschmidt here to Arizona.
Well, it's going to be a really special night for Paul, certainly for these fans who have watched him the last 8 seasons and have seen just some unbelievable baseball. We saw what it was like when Albert Pujols came back to St. Louis. Now, it took a lot longer to get here, but should be a great night for Paul. Those numbers are fantastic. And look, the fans love this guy. He loved them.
Paul Goldschmidt is in the lineup for St. Louis. They were celebrating over the weekend at Wrigley Field after a 4-game sweep. Now they want the division. Diamondbacks, Cardinals, game 1 comes your way next. Right now it is beautiful outside. We had a lot of rain here today. That's right, it was raining here in Arizona. And with Brad Thompson, I'm Dan McLaughlin. It is 78 degrees, and Jim Hayes is with us as well. Look at the NL Central standings, and the Cardinals 1 victory shy of number 90, and Milwaukee 3 games back. So still unfinished business for this club, Brad Thompson.
Well, what do you have to do to pull away from the Brewers? I mean, you keep winning, they keep winning. Magic number now for the Cardinals down to 4. And it's all about just keep doing it. It's one game at a time. Mike Schilt has done such a great job with his ball club of day in, day out being prepared. And here we go again.
Dexter Fowler at the top of the lineup, and then Tommy Edman, Paul Goldschmidt, Ozuna, Molina, DeYoung, Carpenter, Bader, Wainwright. The GMC lineup moments ago, a video tribute to the Cardinal first baseman, and he came out and saluted the crowd in a tip of the cap to the opposition and to the fans here in Arizona. Alex Young, a left-hander, getting the start tonight for Arizona. He is 7-4. First pitch, a strike, and away we go. 6 games remain in this regular season.
The Hyundai pitch arsenal for Alex Young. Fastball, slider, change, and curve. Doesn't use his fastball a ton. You're going to see a lot of this on both sides. Adam Wainwright also mixing in a ton of off-speed. Can't believe that. 6 games left. It doesn't feel like just yesterday. This summer has flown by.
We were doing a game in Port St. Lucie. It seems like yesterday. Ooh. The Mets and Cardinals, and Paul Goldschmidt had just signed his extension with the Cardinals, so all that drama was done in spring training, and now he's in the fold long term with St. Louis, and it took a while, but here we are in Arizona to make his Cardinal debut in Arizona. Here's a 1-2 pitch, and he went. Strikeout of Fowler. The Diamondbacks defensively, Rojas in left, Dyson in center, Adam Jones, he's been around a long time in right field. Lamb, Ahmed, Escobar, Walker along the infield, Carson Kelly, the former Cardinal, behind the plate. Around the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Here's Tommy Edman. He's given this club such a jolt. And the first pitch is a strike. Talking with John Mozeliak today about the impact of Tommy Edman. And, you know, he was saying, oh my, deep left, 1-0 Redbirds. Tommy Edman, he's back at it again with home run number 11. Ball was crushed, and Tommy Edman makes it 1-0 St. Louis.
Baseman number 46, Paul Goldschmidt.
421 feet distance of the home run off the bat of Tommy Edman. I was about to say that Mo
Something about impact?
was making the point of Edman having an impact on the team this year, but also flexibility because he can play all over the diamond. One place he will not be playing, more than likely, though, is first base.
That's a good call. I bet he could, though.
I guarantee he could. His next home run at this ballpark is number 100 for Goldschmidt. Folks in Arizona telling us there's been an uptick in ticket sales because of the return of Goldschmidt for this ball game tonight. Still a ton of Cardinal fans are here. 2-1 pitch. 2-2. He would be the first player to ever hit 100 career home runs at this ballpark. The all-time leader at Chase Field in home runs, walks, tied for first in runs. Missed inside. And the count runs full with 1 out and nobody on. One out walk, Goldschmidt. I was asked a number of times today, Brad, about what was the plane ride and the bus ride like for the team, and very businesslike. You know, you might think that they'd be celebrating their postseason play. You've done that before. And there was a toast at the end of the game, for those who don't know, at Wrigley Field inside the clubhouse. Celebrate the accomplishment of getting into the playoffs, but a feeling of unfinished business.
Well, it's a great feeling anytime you have an opportunity to do that. You look at the standings coming into that series against the Cubs, and you go into it thinking, all right, just from a broader standpoint, you split, there's no blood. Cardinals went in there, took 4, took them in grand fashion.
That's rip fair down into the left field corner. Goldschmidt to third. He'll be held up there. Ozuna to second base. Second and third with 1 down after the double by Marcell Ozuna.
Well, it definitely looks like they're continuing, picking up where they left off on that series. There is the excitement about it. You want to celebrate that, but you know there's a lot more work to do. Marcell just gets him one up in the zone, shoots it right down the left field line, and Cardinals applying pressure early on in this ball game against Young.
Molina, big part of the weekend series, the game-winning 2-run single in a 2-1 Friday afternoon win. Hit the game-tying home run in the 9th inning on Saturday off of Craig Kimbrell. Runners at second and third with 1 out. Now time is called. Guys could not wait to get to the ballpark today. Itching to get to the ballpark. Tired? Out of play. Toyota key to the game with Brad Thompson.
Well, you talk about itching to get to the ballpark. It's about keeping the pedal down for the Cardinals, and so far so good. The Cardinals got a ton of momentum over the weekend against the Cubs. They've won 5 in a row. They've flipped things on the standing. We all know the magic number right now is 4. No time, though, for complacency. They got to go. They got to keep going. And the way that this team is built, the leadership that they have, I don't think that's a problem.
Hot shot to short. That's Ahmed. What a play there on the backhand, but that brings in Goldschmidt to make it 2-0. Nick Ahmed, one of the slickest fielders in all of baseball.
This thing is hit on the screws by Yadier Molina. One hop, he handles it well, turns and throws, knows he has a little bit of time right there to get Yadi. And you're absolutely right. He's a guy that you don't hear a ton about. Defensively, one of the best in the game, certainly. Offensively, having a good year also is Nick Ahmed.
Good base running play there by Goldschmidt to score on that, to make sure it was not a line drive and caught, and read it perfectly. And the RBI for Yadier Molina, his 53rd. Now to Young, who is homered in back-to-back games. Looks at a breaking ball and a strike. That is something that goes really unnoticed about Paul Goldschmidt, how well he runs the bases. That was a good example there. Or you got to get next to the home run hitter if you're Paul Goldschmidt.
Say, hey man, what'd you see?
Yeah.
What's he got?
Tell me about it.
No, I love the point you bring up too about the base running, because stuff like that, look, those details matter so much all year, but no more than like now, end of September through October. Like that extra base that you end up taking, or the fact that you're able to get back to a base on a ball that's hit maybe a little bit harder than that one. Like those are going to be the difference between a win and a loss.
And out to visit goes Carson Kelly. Was part of the Goldschmidt deal. Luke Weaver as well. 17 first inning pitches already.
Happy to see Carson Kelly having the year that he's having. You knew that once he was given the opportunity and able to play day in and day out, that you'd see the results. Results have been pretty good for both of these guys. Luke Weaver spent some time, a significant amount of time with a forearm strain on the IL, but numbers are good for both these guys getting the opportunity here with the Diamondbacks.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to the Cardinals shortstop, and again they cannot get on the same page. That should not happen after a mound visit.
No, you should have that locked in. Should be able to go back without any signs at all. Like, hey, this is what we're doing.
Right. Will he throw this with conviction? It's pulled, and a diving play by Jake Lamb down at third. Tommy Edman gets it going for St. Louis. His 11th home run. 2-0 St. Louis. Tommy Edman with his 11th home run of the year, and the Cardinals have a 2-0 lead. Adam Wainwright, it is start number 30. He will max out in his contract many of the incentives that were put in prior to this season that Adam agreed to, and the front office, as to whether or not he would be a reliever, a starter. Would he make it this long? Well, here he is, start number 30.
Yes, he is. Hyundai pitch arsenal for Adam Wainwright. Fastball, curve, slider, change. And look, we talked about this at the beginning of the season in spring training after, he signed the deal, that the Cardinals would love nothing more than to pay Adam Wainwright every single penny of that contract. And look, he's earned every bit of it, and the Cardinals are happy that he's doing it.
Here's Terod Dyson, and he looks at strike one. 30 steals this year for Dyson, so
keep him off.
Make sure he stays in that dugout. 0-2. Last two games, the Cardinals have 4 first inning runs. They had a total of 4 in the previous 14 in the first inning. So they jump out on top. Swing and a miss, and a strikeout on 3 pitches for Wainwright. Dyson, then Rojas. Escobar's had a monster season, their switch hitter, with 35 home runs. Walker, the replacement for Goldschmidt, then Lamb, Jones, Ahmed, Kelly, and Young. Presented by GMC. Josh Rojas, the left fielder, batting .228. 2 home runs. He's driven in 14. They are without Ketel Marte, and that is a big loss. He was an MVP candidate with career highs in hits and doubles, homers, closing in on 100 driven in and 100 scored. Stress reaction in his back, so he's on the IL and shut down for the rest of the year.
Well, it's a big loss. You think of him in this lineup and then Escobar behind him. I mean, that's a lot of danger. Escobar still doing his thing.
Another curveball that'll roll foul. This is a different infield that Paul Goldschmidt used to play on, as they've gone to the synthetic turf. It's no longer the natural grass. Remember, they had the cutout that went from the mound, the dirt, to the plate. No longer there. And some of the numbers in terms of Home runs are way down this year. The doubles are down. Triples are down. As the ball just kind of gets caught in that turf, and in watching batting practice being down on the field, it does not move through this infield nearly as quickly as it once did. It's a completely different surface.
Well, as you play on it throughout the year, it changes also. You have more traffic on it. The ball comes off it differently, and you better believe that that's part of the prep work coming in. Even Paul Goldschmidt, as you mentioned, spent his whole career here. He's out here, he's taking ground balls, he's seeing how it reacts. That's part of that prep work beforehand.
Wainwright has struck out the first two. Now Escobar. Most of his powers come from this side of the plate. 35 home runs, 24 from the left side. He's driven in 117 with 82 coming from this side.
It's a monster year.
Yeah. Ground ball. Goldschmidt takes it himself. Waino, a 1-2-3. Bottom of the first. Coming up for St. Louis. Carpenter, Bader, Wainwright. St. Louis on top. It's 2-0. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live this week on demand with MLB.tv. Subscription includes MLB At-Bat Premium. Stream live baseball, MLB.tv. Here's Carpenter. And the first pitch taken for a ball. Shift on the right side, and there's a strike, and it's 1-1. Tampa Bay, the Rays, they have this type of synthetic turf. The Rangers also, and 14 of the 32 stadiums in the NFL have this type of turf as well. So it slowed the ball up. Some of those numbers for doubles and triples are down.
Well, there's some places where it just makes sense. Certainly, I mean, here was one. You'd run into the dead patches all over the place. It was tough to keep it in this climate, even with the roof. Had to make a change. But it does play different. I mean, these products have gotten so good, and it's as close as you're going to get to a natural grass, but still a turf. As we see the huge shift with 2 strikes against Carpenter.
That turf is 90% coconut, 10% cork, and this transition to this playing surface gives the clubs 90% savings in what they have to do to maintain the field with water. Another reason that you do that. 3-2 pitch. Carpenter chops it right side. Tough play, and got him by a step. It was Escobar coming in with the shift. It brings in center fielder Harrison Bader. .207 the average, 10 home runs. He's driven in 37. Third baseman Jake Lamb is in, and that pitch taken for a strike. Last 11 games, 7 hits to 21 strikeouts. And when he first came back from Memphis, you didn't see him chase as much. Now lefty on the mound tonight. We'll see if that changes. This could be a base hit. Tough play for Lamb. Oh, he made it. Boy, that's a good play.
Lamb knows he's got to hurry with Harrison Bader running. Ends up going with the bare hand on this thing coming across. Knows he doesn't have any time at all. A really nice play. Speed puts a lot of pressure on the defense. Kind of goes back to your point with Harrison Bader of the strikeouts here recently. Is a little play like that. I mean, he makes it close. All you got to do is put it in play sometimes when you have wheels like he does.
Strike to Adam Wainwright, batting 170. No home runs. He's driven in 2 this year. 2-0 our score. Tommy Edman, solo home run. RBI ground out by Molina. 0-2. Trying to make some noise here at Chase Field. And Wainwright chops it foul. Such a big, spacious, cavernous ballpark. They've talked about trying to eliminate some of the seating to make it more intimate here. One of the expansion teams in the late 1990s and quickly turned that into a world championship club.
I like this ballpark. I mean, it reminds me a ton of, obviously, Milwaukee. Fairly similar build. But it's tough to pack the place when, you know, if you're not winning all the time. Torey Lovullo's done a very good job, though, recently of building a winner. A team right now in the middle of a rebuild gets rid of 3 players that are impact players and be able to have this season.
Don't get hurt, Waino. And he's safe at first. I don't know. The first thing I think about was Milwaukee and the Achilles, and just don't get hurt.
Why is that the first thing you think about? Like,
because,
think positive. Be happy.
I'm trying to be positive, okay?
It's almost October.
Now get off my back.
First thing I'm thinking is base hit. That's what Waino's thinking. He's got himself a chance.
That'll be an error on Christian Walker, the first baseman, and that'll be his 11th. Now, what I'm sure he's saying is, was Wainwright in the first base lane running up that line? Take a look here. He's got to be within that striped line.
No, he's right there.
He's not, so the Cardinals are going to get away with this, and that is not a reviewable play. David Rackley, the home plate umpire. Larry Vanover is the crew chief. Alfonso Marquez at second, and Dan Bellino, third base umpire. As a hitter, if you wanted to, you could run out of the box and run towards the pitcher's mound. And then with 45 feet to go, you better get back in your lane.
I don't suggest it.
Probably not.
They say the straightest point is a straight line itself. But he starts out on the inside a little bit, but does correct. I mean, he's going right down the middle here. This is just a throw that ends up going up the line here.
Well, it should be caught, but also I think the Diamondbacks have a case.
Yeah, maybe a little.
I'll just say it. Leave it at that.
That was legit.
Here's Dexter Fowler. May have noticed over the weekend when Ben Zobrist, the second baseman of the Cubs, was behind the bag at second base. He was jumping around, and it could have been taken as a distraction for the hitter. There is a rule against that, and I was talking to some of the Cardinal coaches about it, and they did go to the umpires and ask, but nothing was really ever done.
Seems like a huge advantage if you're able to do that.
A reasonable ask,
I would say.
Cardinals strand a runner. St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. By Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. And find your Steel dealer at steeldealers.com. It was a celebration, albeit subdued, Jim Hayes, yesterday in the locker room.
I think muted is a good word for it. You talk about a contrast. The Cardinals with a wild 4-game sweep against the Cubs at Wrigley to clinch a spot in the postseason. The celebration for clinching was barely a celebration at all. The Cards gathered in the clubhouse for a short, simple, private toast, acknowledging their accomplishment. Mike Schilt told me, we want to make sure we appreciate what we've accomplished and not to take it lightly, but we have our sights set on clinching this division. That's where our heads are at. We had a nice toast. We felt good about it. Now we move forward. So, Dan, the full-blown celebration will have to wait for the time being.
Got to get there first. Thank you, Jimmy. Unfinished business. Magic number at 4. You win tonight down to 3. Milwaukee is not playing today. Chicago is off today. Next off day for the Cardinals will be on Thursday, and then the Cubs will be in town beginning on Friday.
It's a big deal, though, as Mike Schultz said, to acknowledge the moment, right? We want to celebrate that to a certain extent, but get right back to it. I mean, we all know, Cardinal fans know, it's been 3 long years of no postseason, and every single spring training, that's your goal, is to get to that point where you have an opportunity to win a championship. And they've done that, but we all know that winning the division's a lot easier path than playing in that one wild card game.
Cardinals, the second team in baseball history to sweep a 4-game series on the road, with all 4 games being 1-run wins. Previous instance was 100 years ago.
Talk about backbreakers.
Oh,
like
man.
Night in, night out. Thursday night, it looked like they were going to come back. The Cubs were going to win it. Carpenter with the big home run. Friday, they do it to him again. The Cubs left the bases littered. It was Yadi that had a base hit up the middle that scored a couple of runs. Like every single game, the Cubs were in it, and the Cardinals were just relentless and kept battling. That was an awesome series.
2-2 pitch and a base hit into right. Christian Walker. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Ozuna, Bader, Fowler in the outfield. Carpenter, DeYoung, Edman, Goldschmidt along the infield. Yadi or Molina behind the plate. That 3-year absence you're talking about, the longest since the turn of the century for the Cardinals. So this now means that since 2000, Cardinals have made the playoffs 13 of the last 20 seasons.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
Woo.
Fairly consistent.
There's Jake Lamb, the third baseman, batting 192. Just seems like he's constantly battling injuries year in and year out.
He missed a couple of months with a quad, I believe it was, this year. And he's a great player. But you got to be able to be out there, and it's of no fault of his own. He plays the game hard. He's just been bit a few times.
The elimination number, by the way, for the Diamondbacks is down to 1. So they lose tonight, they're officially eliminated. Or if the Brewers would win a game, it's looking ahead to 2020 officially.
So it is fair to use every cliche we can think of for the Diamondbacks currently.
Sure.
I mean, backs are against the wall. Win or go home. It's a must win.
Playing for their lives.
Yeah, all those things are true.
Arizona 6 with the Phillies 6. New York still hanging around along with the Cubs, but right now it looks like Milwaukee, Washington, and the Cardinals trying to wrap up a Central Division. 2-1 pitch. Base hit into right. Walker on his way to third, diving in head first, and runners at the corners.
Adam just trying to get in there and catches way too much of the plate. Good base running. Knows he's going first to third on this one.
And now Adam Jones. Runners at the corners. Nobody out here in the home half of the second. Adam Jones, the only player to have enough plate appearances to qualify for the batting title every year since 2008. So it's been durability when you think about Adam Jones.
So they say that's the best ability is availability. He's been there. I think he's such a great guy to have on any ball club, but especially a team where you're trying to go a little bit younger, right? You're trying to get these guys acclimated to the big league level. you better have somebody to show you the right way to go about it. They lost one of those guys in Paul Goldschmidt. Obviously, the Cardinals gain. Adam Jones is one of those guys. Been one of the best guys in the game of baseball for a long time.
Nothing in 2 the count. Wainwright had a 1-2-3 first with a pair of strikeouts. And he just got a piece to stay alive.
Well, I like the idea right there. We've seen Adam Wainwright a lot this year with 2 strikes, and everybody knows the history of Adam Wainwright. Everybody knows how nasty Uncle Charlie is. He uses that fastball a lot late to set up hitter to end up getting the punch out on guys. He can throw his breaking ball to get him back into it, but I like that idea.
The weekend series was the 3rd this year the Cardinals have had a sweep of a 4-game series. Dodgers, Pittsburgh, and then the Cubs.
A couple of good teams sprinkled in there.
You bet. 0-2 pitch.
Well, I'm sure that you had fun calling those games. I mean, each one of them was, I mean, there was
amazing.
Something special. I had the opportunity to go up as a fan and kind of enjoy the atmosphere of it. And I got to tell you, there are a lot of happy Cardinal fans and a lot of sad, bitter Cubs fans.
Base hit out to left gets the Diamondbacks on the board with 3 consecutive singles. Hanging breaking ball. Adam Jones driving in his 66th. That one hung up there.
Yeah, Jones just sees this one out of his hand and goes down and gets it. Doesn't try to do a ton here, but you see it just right out of his hand kind of pop up a little bit. Just a veteran piece of hitting.
Nick Ahmed is driven in 80. It's the first earned run that Wainwright has allowed since his start against the Pirates at PNC. That's a long time ago.
I think spanning about 19 innings. Pretty impressive.
And the 0-1 pitch. Little chopper, double play ball to Young. A flip, a turn, a double play. 6-4-3.
That's how you get a little bit of momentum back right there, as you get the ground ball and keep them here. Spent a little time talking about this turf already. A couple of good bounces. Nice easy hop here, sets it up for DeYoung. Easy flip to Tommy Edman. That double play duo looks pretty comfortable also. We know how great DeYoung and Wong have been up the middle, and we do hope that Colton Wong is able to get back full strength soon, very soon. But Tommy Edman has done a great job of filling in wherever they ask him to be.
Now Carson Kelly with Alex Young, the pitcher, on deck. And the first pitch, a strike. Mentioned it's been a solid first year for Carson here in the desert. One of those guys you really enjoyed being around when he was in St. Louis. Wish him well.
Yep, is a good guy. Another guy that's just kind of a student. He's quiet. He works hard. He just wants to be a part of something, and just didn't. You're not going to get too many opportunities behind Yadi or Molina. That's just kind of the way it is. And by the way, that doesn't appear to be slowing down anytime soon. Yadi has looked great. And it was a move where you already had a young catcher that you also liked in Andrew Kisner behind him. And not that you ever want to trade a guy like Carson Kelly or Luke Weaver, but you had an abundance of players in those positions. And look, you got a superstar in Goldie.
Here's the 0-2 and right down central. Third strikeout for Wainwright. So the Diamondbacks get an RBI single by Adam Jones. They're on the board. Tommy Edman got the Cardinals on the board early on. He's coming up when we come back. The impact of Tommy Edman continues tonight. First inning home run. Tommy batting in the second spot in Mike Shield's lineup, and a long one to make it 1-0 at the time. Kubota Power Stats, and there's a look at what he's done here in the month of September. Such a factor for St. Louis.
Half a month. Remember when Tommy Edman came up? I think the overall thought was, oh, he's a good glove, and he's steady from both sides of the plate. I'd say he's a tad more than steady. He has showed up on the biggest stage at the biggest times, and he seems to always have the same demeanor about him. Like, he never gets too high, never gets too low. That's hard to do as a young player.
Versatility. Second base, third base. Statistically, he's played a very good outfield, even though that's a bit out of position for him with his resume. Pitch inside, 2 balls and no strikes. And they're going to say that that hit Edman, so Tommy is aboard.
First baseman, Goldschmidt.
Slider in, and yeah, just barely gets that front left knee of Tommy Edman. And know this, getting that guy on the base path, he's got good speed, good instincts as well.
Nice round of applause for Paul Goldschmidt.
I mean,
concerning, by the way, Colton Wong. He's back in St. Louis. He'll go through intensive therapy, and whether that is this weekend or eventually postseason, John Mozeliak saying they're going to have to be patient, try not to push him, so there's no setbacks, and their fingers are crossed. That's the update on Colton Wong.
Well, just got to hope for that speedy recovery. You know, Colton's going to do everything in his power. The medical team will do the same, and you know how much better this club is with Colton Wong being a part of it, being out there defensively, offensively. I mean, he's fantastic. I'm going to say with Goldie, you think these people, they'd cheer for a Goldie home run, wouldn't they? Of course they would.
Love to find out. Albert got a standing O and a curtain call. His return to St. Louis. I would say, though, there's probably at least 40% Cardinal fans in here. So you might get that ovation anyway, because it's,
I think everybody
Busch Stadium West.
You're right.
2-1 pitch. Instead, a check on Edman, who has 14 stolen bases. Back in safely.
Showed him a different look right there. Showed him beforehand the nice easy step over. This one the step behind, quick snap throw. That one made it close.
Two and one to count on Paul Goldschmidt. Outfield straight away and deep. And Goldie hits one out to deep right. Let's find out about that ovation. What's it gonna be? Take it in. 2-run bomb is 100th here at this ballpark. The chance of Goldie here in Arizona. Welcome back.
I told you they were going to love it. Everybody was in on that. That wasn't just Cardinal fans. There was a lot of Cardinal fans. But Everybody's feeling it. He hammered that thing.
Opposite field, something that we haven't seen a ton of from him this year in St. Louis, but he did do that a lot in his time in Arizona.
I think that's when you know his timing is right.
Backhanded by Jake Lamb. Ozuna retired. 1 for 2 tonight.
And when Goldie is able to stay back, drive the ball that way, it doesn't matter if it's an elevated pitch or one that is down low, low, low like this one here, way under the zone. Just stays back, lets the ball travel, and he's got that big time power. He can hit it out to all fields.
(4-1) Cardinals, and now it's a fly ball off the bat of Molina. Shallow left, drops in for a hit.
The homecoming, you knew something good was going to happen. Paul, the entire time before, he had a huge media scrum early, and then I don't know how many people it was, but people that work here in the stadium, all over the place, like, he knows everybody's name. Everybody lights up when they see him. And we've seen that in St. Louis already in his short time. How beloved that character can be.
Did a ton in the community here locally, especially with sick children. Field dedication, put his money to that field. And DeYoung fouls it back in. That ball went into the press box, the writer's press. Right now, you can just see, though, that Young, not DeYoung, but Young, the pitcher, is not establishing anything inside, and these guys are awfully comfortable in the batter's box.
Well, the only thing he's going in with is the softer stuff like that. I mean, he's throwing the little slider in there, but he's not getting in off the plate. And you're right. I mean, even if your idea, if you're Alex Young, your idea is, hey, I'm going to get him out with the slider down, or I'm going to get him out with the changeup down. You got to be able to set it up, too. So these guys are good enough to be able to make adjustments.
Paul Goldschmidt, 241 career homers, with 80 of those going to right field or right center. Great power. 2 home runs hit, Tommy Edman, and now Paul Goldschmidt. And a 1-2 pitch. Strikeout of Paul DeYoung, second of the night for Young. And the batter will be Matt Carpenter. Carpenter grounded out softly to second base, his first time up. First pitch drops in for a strike. Here's the 0-1. So his 100th home run at this ballpark, and he scored 2 runs already. He's gone over the century mark at this ballpark many, many times and runs scored. That's pulled foul. Two strikes on Carpenter, and with that, an exaggerated shift here. You know, the thing is, too, when you come back home for these guys, I'm sure it's emotionally draining, too. By the time the game gets around, you're like, man, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, well, you've done everything. You've said hi to everybody, maybe gone out to lunch, you got family, you got friends. There's a lot that goes into it. You're right. But maybe by the time you get to the ballpark, by the time you get to the game, that's the only thing that you're used to doing in that day. So you kind of fall back into your overall routine. And his routine here for a long time, maybe he's got a lunch spot that he goes to a lot. And we know that his routine was hitting home runs here all the time. So way to get back into it.
Yeah, you're right back in the swing of things. Outside 3-2.
And
Goldschmidt was selected by the Diamondbacks in the 8th round, 2009. 8 years in this Diamondbacks uniform. 209 home runs, over 700 runs batted in, 6 All-Star teams, 3 Gold Gloves, 4 Silver Sluggers, and one of the great players. A walk to Carpenter, and the second issued by Young.
So far, the Cardinals have done a really good job of making Young work. When he's at his best, he's getting a lot of swing and miss on the sliders, the curveball, the changeup, all under the zone. And guys are really aggressive against him. Cardinals have laid off those, make sure he comes to them.
So 2 outs and 2 on as Bader takes a ball down and in. Grounded out on a backhanded play by Lamb, first time up. Pitch number 56 coming up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Arizona joined Major League Baseball, an expansion team, in 1998, and the Cardinals have gone 91-58 against the D-backs since they came into the league. Two strikes on Bader. And Goldschmidt with 6 games to go, including tonight. He now is 6 shy of 100 runs batted in.
Oh, it's been a minute, hasn't it? We need a 100 RBI guy.
Hasn't happened since Matt Holliday in 2012. The 2-2.
Guess that does just show overall, though, the kind of depth where you're getting production from a little bit of everybody, but definitely would be nice to have that. You know, he's always the threat, but to put up the numbers, have the 100 ribbies.
3-2 pitch, runners go, and Bader sends a fly ball into center. Gerard Dyson under it and makes the catch. Paul Goldschmidt, in his return so far, has walked and scored in the first and a 2-run homer here in the third. 4-1 St. Louis. Fox Sports Go. Take us with you. Download it. Favorite supported devices. Coming to you from Chase Field in Arizona. Archaea, give it everything. The highest winning percentage at Chase Field, and the Cardinals at .581. Some good battles in the early 2000s with the Diamondbacks and the Cardinals in postseason play. Big trade in the offseason to get Paul Goldschmidt to come to St. Louis, and then he signed a long-term extension.
Still remember the day that he was traded. I remember the buzz, the excitement in town, because the Cardinals, you know, there was a need, right? There was a need for impact. There was the need for a guy, a superstar, a presence. And, man, did they get that with Paul Goldschmidt. And we know this. We've seen it over the years for him. And you look at the overall numbers for Goldie, and they are just fine for the year. His numbers end up being very close to his career ones. But there's even more, you know. And the hope is that we get to see that even more in October.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Alex Young, the pitcher, 9th place batter in their lineup. Then Dyson and Rojas. curveball, and that's taken a little bit low.
It's a really nice job by Adam Wainwright last inning to get himself out of a jam. Had a few consecutive hits. Ends up getting Nick Ahmed to hit into the double play. Punched out Carson Kelly to get the third out before they were able to turn over the lineup again.
2-1. Hit sharply to third, and there's Carpenter. Season tickets are available for you for the 2020 season. And it has the opportunity to purchase postseason tickets for this year. Cardinals.com/season. Good seats still available Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with the Cubs in town. Here's Dyson, who struck out on 3 pitches, swinging his first time up. Broken bat. Edman has to be quick. And he is. 2 down, and the batter is Josh Rojas, the left fielder for the D-backs.
Really good play by Tommy Edman. Starts with a great pitch by Adam Wainwright. Little cutter there, gets in on the hands of Dyson, and you're right, Tommy knows he's got to be fast. Unleashes the throw right there. We've gotten so used over the years to seeing the arm of Colton Long over at second base. That's a pretty good one Tommy Edman's sporting.
Right now, the ERA for Adam Wainwright, the lowest since Max Lanier had a .31 ERA in September of 1941. That's how good the 38-year-old has been. Max Lanier played 14 seasons of Major League Baseball, with 12 of those with the Cardinals. Won over 100 games. Not too shabby.
No, not at all. I love seeing this. I love seeing it for Adam. I love seeing it for the Cardinals. I like watching this guy compete because you know when he gets out there, you see it in his mannerisms. You know when he's feeling it. And I think that energy, guys feed off of stuff like that, seeing him do what he's doing.
I think everybody knew he's one of the great competitors that's ever worn a Cardinal uniform. The question was, would the body allow him to compete? And the answer has been yes.
Yep. Well, there's a lot that goes into that, and certainly it's the work that Adam puts in to get his body prepared, and it's also kind of changing the way that he attacks the hitters. Now, his arm, he's fortunate enough to be able to get it up in the same position, to be able to repeat his pitches, but his arsenal's different than it used to be in the past. A lot of guys, when they lose a little bit of anything from their best stuff, quote unquote, and by the way, his stuff has been pretty darn good. Fastball velo has jumped up from the last couple of years. But they don't know how to reinvent themselves, and they find themselves on the outside looking in. Adam hasn't been that guy. He's reinvented himself quite well.
3-2 breaking pitch. That was the first 3-ball count that he had tonight, and now his first walk. Not what you want to do with Escobar digging in. You can tell in that at bat, he is very intense tonight, and he was not happy with one of the pitches that was called a ball. Adam's not one that's going to show you up, though.
No, he's not, and he's also not a guy that's going to let any frustration go over to the next batter, because to your point, this guy is dangerous. I mean, he's got career highs across the board. Big time year for him. Got to be able to bear in 35 home runs already. Pretty good.
Grounded out to first. 0 for 1. We're in the bottom of the third. 4-1 St. Louis. Cardinals could clinch on this road trip, and if not, then it could be over the weekend.
I wouldn't mind seeing it at home. I mean, as fast as possible, I guess, is great. Just keep winning games. It's going to happen.
I don't know if you noticed, the opponent is the Cubs this weekend.
Yeah, no, I noticed.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that was kind of
if you had seen that.
Kind of part of what
okay.
I was talking about. I recall seeing the Cubs celebrate at Busch. I like that so much.
1-2 as he elevated that fastball.
Seen Adam go after Escobar now with 3 fastballs and got him out with a curveball before. Trying to mix it up. Can't fall into patterns.
And the 1-2 pitch by Wainwright. Pulled foul. One and two the count. Runner at first is Josh Rojas after his 2-out walk. Shift on the right side of the infield. Curveball yanked foul again. As well as Yu Darvish pitched yesterday at Wrigley, Miles Michaelis was right there with him.
Yes, he was. That was just a flat-out battle. Those are the games I love watching, stuff like that. I love watching 2 starting pitchers just go at it, and at some point you knew something was going to have to break a little bit, and it ended up breaking the Cardinals' way. I also love the fact over the weekend against the Cubs, a lot of different heroes, weren't there? That's how this team is built.
Yep. And again, the 1-2 pitch by Wainwright. Just off the plate. Cardinals in the 4th inning will have Wainwright, Fowler, and Edman due up.
Well, I think that he could tie up Escobar inside, but if you're going to do so, you got to be very careful. You got to make sure you make the pitch.
And the 2-2.
We'll go back out.
Did not go. Runner off with the next pitch with 3-2 and 2 outs. Outfield is deep. They are straight away. Infield with a shift. 8th pitch of the at bat coming up right here. Left-handed batter. So Goldschmidt playing behind the runner at first. 3-2. And it's out of play. Wainwright tonight has had 7 swings and misses. He had a total of 4 in his last start, the 7 innings against Washington, and he was matched up with Max Scherzer. That was a fun game.
Really was. And while he didn't get a ton of swing and misses, he got a ton of weak contact. I mean, it was just missing the barrels. It was quick outs.
Curveball and a hop to Tommy Edman.
A postseason berth, and Fox Sports Midwest will be with you throughout the playoffs. We'll have post-game shows after every game, and also Wednesday's game. All right, Wednesday's game is going to be on YouTube. If the Cardinals clinch the division, we will have a special post-game show right here on Fox Sports Midwest.
So the one hopper, and Wainwright was out of the jam. And he'll lead it off this inning. Wainwright, Fowler, and Edman. Here's a 1-0. Wainwright reached on an error his first time up. The Cardinals have a lead of 4-1 here in the top of the 4th. Outfield very shallow. That's where Adam could get into one. There's certain pitchers you do have to pitch tough. He's one of them.
Well, that's a good example right there. It's a 1-1 changeup.
Exactly.
I was one of those guys, right, Dan?
Absolutely. And this is where you tell me about your hitting career.
Well, look, I'm not big into numbers, and I don't.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, they were somewhere in the neighborhood of It was 10 career hits.
10 career hits.
It was on the button.
10 more than me and 10 more than a lot of others.
They felt good, all of them.
I bet they did.
All lasers in the book, too.
You got it. Do you still have the baseball?
Yeah, of course.
The first one.
Yeah.
Did you give it to mom and dad?
Yeah, they have it.
Awesome.
I think that's the most impressive one since I wasn't a prolific hitter like, you know, in Little League or high school, college.
You were always a pitcher.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. Played third. Got DH for sometimes.
Well, you told me that when you first got drafted, you were kind of a sidewinder.
I was, yeah. Dropped down, not three-quarter. I mean, it was legit sidearm. Then when I got to the Cardinals, they said, hey, you're probably going to blow out if you do that, so maybe we should mix it up a little bit. And that worked out quite well.
You got a ring.
Yeah, it worked out really well.
Pitched in a World Series. Father strikes out for the second time, and that's 4 for Young tonight. Tommy Edman, a solo home run, and was hit by a pitch and 2 runs scored. And it was a long home run for his 11th of the season in limited time here at the big leagues. That's the interesting thing. You go back and look at college when he was at Stanford or even in the minor leagues, not a ton of home runs. StatCast AI powered by AWS.
I think that really stands out to me about Tommy Edman is just how quiet his swing is overall. The hands are just so fast. I don't think he's not trying to hit that ball out of the ballpark. It's just a product of his approach and the good swing path.
How about that? The extra base hits by a Cardinal rookie. His name right there with Joe Ducky Medwick. The 2-1 pitch. To me, he's really made an adjustment too at the off speed. A little susceptible to that, especially a straight changeup. Stays back, hands back, drives the ball. 3-1. 3-2.
I think it's a big adjustment oftentimes when you get to this level that I mean, you've seen all this off-speed stuff before, but you haven't seen guys throw it for strikes as consistently as they do here. So you got to make that adjustment. Just because you see a changeup out of the hand and maybe he'd able to lay off of it, now you got to know that this guy can throw it for a strike in any count. And the key is, can you battle, right? Can you foul some stuff off? Can you get to the point where a pitcher ends up making a mistake? We've seen him do a lot of that. That's one of the things that when Harrison Bader is going right that he's able to do is to foul off that really nasty pitch or lay off that one to give himself another chance for the pitcher to make a mistake.
And it is hit sharply to short. Edman is aboard with his speed. On base for the 3rd time. And his second hit extends the inning to Paul Goldschmidt.
This one is hit hard here to the backhand side, and it looks like he just loses a footing a little bit. It's going to be a tough play, and you're right. I mean, even if that throws on the money, that thing's going to be bang, bang at first base with the speed of Tommy Edman.
Goldschmidt has already homered here in his return. Got that one out of the way. And walked and scored in the 1st. This one to right center. The Nissan drive of the game. Home run number 32. He's now driven in 94 this year. So 2 outs and 1 on. Ooh. Gotta wonder too, Brad, from a pitching perspective, the effect that a guy like Tommy Edman has in front of Goldschmidt. And my point is, you worry so much about the fact that he can steal and he can run and he's got speed. I mean, you miss by just a little, Goldschmidt does damage.
Yes, no, you're right.
And he lifts a fly ball out to center field. There's Dyson to make the catch. Cardinals strand a runner, their 5th of the night. With Jim.
Danny, Paul has nothing but praise for the Diamondbacks and their fans, but he has other things on his mind as he makes his return to Arizona for the first time since the trade that sent him to St. Louis. That would be a division title. Paul told me it might be a little different if these games weren't like they are for us. But my focus is always on going out there and doing whatever I can to help our team win. We still have some work to do. Dan Goldschmidt said he was so thankful for the Diamondbacks taking a chance on him and drafting him out of Texas State, but he's locked in on trying to win games right now.
Here's his replacement. Jimmy, I'm curious, what was the media and the press conference like before the game?
There was a lot of people packed around Paul Goldschmidt, and you know, he's not that comfortable talking about himself, but you could see that the media people, and I think Brad mentioned it too, people that work at the stadium, they love Paul Goldschmidt.
Out to center, and it is gone. It's a home run, clears the wall in center. Christian Walker with his 27th home run.
Just a cutter here by Adam Wainwright that ends up catching a little bit too much of the middle. This thing is smoked out to center field, number 27 for Walker. Second in the NL as far as rookies go. Just behind Alonso with 50.
August 21st, last time that Wainwright gave up a home run. .418 feet distance of that home run off the bat of Christian Walker. Took over for Paul Goldschmidt there at first base and has had a solid year.
Tell you what, that is a really long run for Adam Wainwright of not giving up the long ball. We know what age baseball is in right now. It's in the home run age. He's been able to limit so much damage. And the big key is also, look, solo shots aren't going to kill you. It's the big ones. It's with guys on. Adam just going to go right back to work here.
Here in September, his first 28 innings, 1 earned run. There's a line drive out to center. In his last 2, he's given up a couple of earned. So you're going to have that in this ballpark. And, you know, the other thing about home runs, too, with Waino, as often as he goes to the breaking ball, you're gonna flip some up there. Major league hitters don't miss those, but that's how good he's been.
Well, especially now, all you have to do is kind of get one in the air, the way that the baseball's flying out all around the league. And no, you're right. It is. Look, I don't care if you have Adam Wainwright, who throws a lot of breaking balls, or if you have you know, Lance Lynn, who throws 90% fastballs. It's gonna happen in the game right now. It's just impressive that it's been so long since he'd given one up.
Andrew Jones with an RBI single to left that scored Walker after he had singled back in the second. It's a 4-2 game. Adam Jones, longtime Baltimore Oriole. The Orioles, by the way, are 51 and 105. 51 and 105. That's a long year.
I was thinking about that this morning, just thinking about where the Cardinals are, and there are some other teams, obviously the Orioles, the Tigers, the Marlins. Thinking about like what meetings are like there, like when you're talking about it, when you're getting ready for these ball games, or even higher up, right? Like front office meetings. You think they're thinking, all right, well, you know, our draft position again, that's good. Maybe we'll get our next franchise changer if we end up first in the draft, or if we end up second. You know, what does that look like? That stinks to be thinking about that stuff at this time of the year. We are very fortunate to be watching this, to have a chance to be talking about October. Even the last few years, as the Cardinals fell short of the postseason, it was up until like the last week, you know, when they ended up falling off. Couldn't imagine being in the flip those positions.
And a high fly ball lifted out to Bader in center. Puts it away for the out. T-Mobile connection to the game. 3 teams with 100 or more wins: Yankees, Astros, Dodgers. 4 teams, 100 or more losses, Orioles being part of that group with the Tigers, the Marlins, and the Royals. Ned Yost officially saying today that he is going to retire as manager of the Kansas City Royals. 3 more teams can still win 100. Never been a season with 4 teams 100 or more wins. So really good at the top, really bad at the bottom, and so in the middle.
Yeah, it's been kind of a weird year overall. I think the biggest surprise team on that list with the possibility of hitting 100 wins is probably the A's. I mean, nobody was really talking about the A's overall. They have been steady. They've gotten better and better throughout the season.
I think they would be dangerous. Tampa Bay would be dangerous. Here's a 1-1. And he went 1-2. Nick Ahmed grounded into a 6-4-3 double play his first time up. Cardinals will have Ozuna, Molina, DeYoung looking ahead to inning number 5. Big gap in left center. And the 1-2 pitch. Spoiled. So Wainwright going tonight for St. Louis. And we'll have the ball game for you tomorrow night right here on Fox Sports Midwest. Flaherty against Leake. That'll be fun. Leake was dominant against St. Louis while pitching with the Mariners earlier this year and almost threw a no-hitter. Not against St. Louis, but after that start. He resides in this area, and this is basically where he's tried to get get back to the Scottsdale area.
Well, and you know, anytime Jack Flaherty is on the bump, it's grab your popcorn time, too. Something special might happen there.
And a swing and a miss. Strikeout of Nick Ahmed. Ozuna coming up, and so is the 5th inning. This date in Cardinals history, see more at Fuse.com. The base burglar, Lou Brock, 938th stolen base, and his final steal was this date, 1979. 938, with 855 of those babies coming with St. Louis. Ricky Henderson, Lou Brock, the other Billy Hamilton, and Ty Cobb on that list. Lou Brock, 15 years with the Cardinals, 4 with Chicago, and then the famous Brock Broglio deal. See more at Fuse.com, and thank you to the good folks at the Fuse Automotive Group. Love seeing our this date in baseball history. Cardinals have plenty of it.
I love the idea of having a guy on the base path that as soon as he is on first, you might as well call it a triple.
He averaged 49 steals a year. Ozuna out to center. Dyson back. It is off the top of the wall. And Ozuna trotting into second base with a leadoff double. With the thunder rolling in the background, a thunderous clout off the bat of Ozuna.
That was full extension right there by Marcell Ozuna. The big, tall wall, got to get it above the yellow, obviously, for the home run. Barely misses it. But a good way to start things off right here. Just gets the changeup, gets extended, and gives it a ride.
.406 feet off the bat of Marcell Ozuna. Now Yadi or Molina 1 for 2 with a run batted in. This ball 8 out of 10 times is going to the right side. Or he's driving them in.
Yep, it's going to be a productive at bat. That's what you know with Yadi. And you know, as we went into this inning, it's been 77 pitches now for Young. Only throwing 19 fastballs, so you kind of know how he's going to attack you. Make it 20.
It was down and in.
Well, I think that one right there, we were talking before a couple of innings ago how he really wasn't doing much inside, because you can pitch effectively inside but off the plate. Kind of tells you he's not super comfortable going in there. Misses by a lot. And if he tries to go away here at all, Yadi's going to shoot one right through that hole.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Molina. Paul DeYoung on deck. No activity yet for the Diamondbacks in their bullpen.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I was not expecting to wake up in Scottsdale, Arizona to a monsoon. I turned on the news, they called it Monsoon Monday.
Oh, yeah.
Driving to the ballpark today, a lot of flooding.
In the air, out to deep left. Yadi, a two-run bomb. Molina, two-run shot. The stakes get higher. He gets greater. Home run number 10, Yadier Molina.
Well, you had a couple of options. You could hit a ground ball to the right side, or you could take a sinker down the middle, drive this thing way out of the ballpark, walk the dog for a second, and then drive in 2 runs. I love seeing that. You are absolutely right. As the stakes get higher, the guy, he thrives on these moments. But you can just tell his mannerisms before these games. Like, he just comes to life more and more. This is a fun time.
You bet. Inside, down and in to Paul DeYoung. 6-2 the lead. Home run by Edman. 2-run homer by Goldschmidt. 2-run homer by Molina. That's pulled foul. Paul DeYoung lined out to third, and a diving catch made by Jake Lamb with a runner at second. Also struck out in the hole here, 1-2. 429 feet off the bat of Yadier Molina. Pulled foul again.
Well, I love how this offense just keeps piling on, just keeps fighting, keeps battling. We've spent some time today talking about the great series that was the Cubs series, being able to sweep them, going to their place, doing it in 4 games. Crazy atmosphere, right? Loud. Everything's on the line. You come to Arizona, we know that their number, if they lose 1 game, they're out of it. It'd be easy to, pull the reins a little bit. The Cardinals aren't doing it.
Strikeout number 5 for this left-hander. And now a quick word from Great Southern Bank.
Emptied your digital wallet? We understand. Great Southern Bank. We're fans too.
Matt Carpenter digs in. Thunder all around us. Roof closed. Do see some of the lightning from the paneling that is opened in left and right center. You can see that around the ballpark.
Remember when you had a rain delay in a place that has a roof?
Oh yeah,
I remember too.
Miller Park.
I remember watching on TV, and I could hear the disdain in your voice.
I couldn't believe it.
It was impressive.
I was not a happy camper.
Pop-up showers, they say.
Yeah. Pop-up showers.
Close the roof then.
And Carpenter lifts it in the air to shallow center. Gary Halstead is here at the ballpark tonight, finishing his tour of every major league ballpark. He's got 20 people joining him in celebration of this event. 3 of them are fellow fantasy campers that always go to the Cardinals fantasy camp. Will Orr is also here. He's a young man from Mercy Hospital. He and his mother are in that group. And he was honored a couple of fantasy camps ago. And now Bader shoots it out to center. And the catch made by Dyson. But Gary, great to have you here. And seeing all these home runs.
The final Goodwill Autograph Night is Friday, September 27th at Ford Plaza Stage. Mike Myers will sign autographs for fans 15 and under, and Al Raboski and Mike Tyson will sign for fans of all ages. For details, visit cardinals.com/promotions. Well, with a 2-run home run by Yadier Molina, the Cardinals add to their lead, make it 6-2 here. We head into the bottom of the 5th inning. 8-9-1 coming up for the Diamondbacks. Kelly, the pitcher, Young, and Jared Dyson. And Yadi just keeps stepping up at the biggest moments. And you can tell that guy right there, he's ready for some October baseball. Adam Wainwright back to work. 68 pitches now into the 5th. He's been efficient. Ran into a little bit of trouble in the 2nd inning. Got a big double play. Got a strikeout as well. Strikeout was Kelly. Caught him looking on a fastball away. And what a September it's been for Adam Wainwright. Good curveball by Adam Wainwright. It's going to take the count to 1-2. On deck, Domingo Leyba. The 2-2.
Good old Uncle Charlie, huh?
It's always there, right? Right in the back pocket. Punches out Kelly for the 2nd time.
So battery mates, these guys have been around a long time.
Well, you think that you think these two like working together? You think that these two know what the other one's thinking? Climbing this list. Tied for 7th right now, and neither one of these guys look like they're slowing down, do they, Dan?
At all. It's been amazing to see these two. You'd have to think that the one knows what the other's going to call, too.
Yes, all the time. And you also know if Waino shakes something off, or if Yadi puts down some fingers that he wasn't thinking of. Look, they've got that trust. They've built it up together. It's like, you know what? I believe in you. I'm going to throw this with conviction. I'm going to go about it. Just love the relationship that they've built over the years, on the field, off the field. They're great buddies. It's a fun partnership.
So Domingo Leyba, a switch hitter, pinch hitting for Alex Young. So the starter of the Diamondbacks is out. They trail 6-2 here in the home half of the 5th. And a breaking ball drops in for a strike. It really does make it fun as a baseball fan to watch these two work in tandem, too. It's not just some guy out there throwing 100 miles an hour. It's a guy that doesn't have the fastball that's, 96 anymore. It's a pitching. It's thinking through the game.
No, you hit the perfect word. It is pitching. It's not throwing. It's not just pure stuff. Here it is. Hit it. It's setting you up. It's the perfect fastball in. It's what am I going to do after that? Am I going to double up inside or throw the curveball? That's the beauty of Adam Wainwright's arsenal. He can throw all the pitches. He can throw Uncle Charlie right here and bounce it, get a swing and miss. Good pitch right there.
In and out. Yep. This at bat right here. One-two pitch, bounced, almost. would have been if he didn't get a piece of it. To think that these two were on the mound and behind the plate. 06 Carlos Beltran and that famous breaking ball and the reaction of both. And little did we all know what was about to come. The years of success that these two have had.
It's been so much fun. I got to be honest, it makes me feel like I've underachieved a tad. You know, as I do recall that moment also, you know, being there.
Yeah, you were there, Brad.
My vantage point has changed.
Well,
there still looks the same.
Not a bad one up here, though.
That's an awesome one.
Yeah.
It's hard in this game to play a long time. And honestly, just overall, I mean, look at guys' careers. They're a lot shorter than they've ever been. Guys don't play 20 years in the big leagues anymore. I mean, you got a couple of guys right here that are doing something special. Both have had to fight through injuries. Adam, we know the last couple of years. Yadi's he's the toughest dude I know. All the stuff that he goes through.
Showed that again this weekend. There's a ground ball that's foul, and we'll have a ninth pitch of this at bat. Three and two with one out and nobody on. And the next two, Leba, curveball, and it just missed on the outside corner. Wainwright snapping at that baseball as it comes back to him. His second walk.
Center fielder, Dyson.
Top of the lineup in Dyson. And a fly ball into shallow left. Ozuna over, and it drops in front of him in fair territory. The throw to third is not in time, and Dyson winds up at second base. You think that was going foul?
I'm not exactly sure what Marcel saw here. It looked like he had enough time potentially to get onto this one and just misreads it.
It's an error on Marcell Ozuna. It's got to be, even though it drops without him touching this ball. And so it's a base hit, and then right there, that little mishandle is the error, and that allowed Dyson to get to second base. And here's Rojas. That ball's got to be caught. Jimmy Sherfy, right-hander, getting loose in the pen, and now Wainwright wants to talk it over with Molina here. It's not only should you have 2 outs and a runner at first base, but the potential to extend the inning to the man on deck with 35 home runs.
Yeah, no, it's huge. And even right now here with Rojas up, you can look at this sometimes and say, oh, well, you got first base open. You can pitch around him. Maybe next guy you get to hit into a double play. Well, look, I'm not loading him up for this guy. That changes the game. One swing of the bat, and all of a sudden, when Escobar gets up, if you load him up, it's a tie game.
One ball and one strike. Rojas has struck out and also walked tonight. looking for something else, and it's 1-2.
That's a fact. You don't see a take of a fastball right down the middle unless you are looking for the big breaking ball. And when you're looking for that, all of a sudden 91 might as well be 100. Doesn't matter. You're not going to catch up to it. And now all of a sudden 1-2, you're guessing big time.
Ooh, just a little bit low. And it's lined into center field for a base hit. That's Dyson being held at third. Throw comes through. Runners at the corners. Quick tag there by Carpenter, and Molina pointing to say that they got him. They want to have a review of this. Yadi wants it immediately.
This was really close. Dyson has his back turned over at third base, and he's like a half a step away from the bag, but the foot wasn't quite there yet. It was a quick throw. It was a nice snap tag there by Carpenter. And at the very least, Chad Blair and the team going to look over this thing in the video room.
It's the element of surprise there. Well, that's quick.
Yeah, looks like he got in there.
They're going to say maybe he swiped him before he got the foot in, and you challenge midway through. It's a, maybe a 50-50 here, but with the guy coming up, you can understand why you do it.
Well, it changes the complexity of the entire inning. Get that guy off at third base. Right, I mean, it takes the tying run off the bases. And just a heads up play, we've seen Yadi do this over the years. I mean, just always looking for a way. This inning, is, I won't say getting away, but giving up, had the misplay in left field, give up a couple of runs, give up the run. He might have caught him on that elbow.
It's a swipe play that, just barely touching him, and he might have got him. It's very close.
That's the hard part, as you know, when you go through these, is having conclusive enough evidence to be able to overturn the call. Might be difficult on this one. I didn't mind the idea there, as you mentioned. Look, you take a shot right there. It's an inning where you got a chance to steal back a tiny bit of momentum. And now for Adam Wainwright, it's time to bear it down. You got one out. Got a tough guy up here. Got to execute.
Escobar is grounded into 8 double plays. Genesis Cabrera starts to throw. And the 0-1 pitch by Wainwright. Base hit into left. A walk and 3 hits.
Well, when Escobar comes up, you think, oh man, 3-run homer time. That's what the worry is. This one here, this is a pitch that just outer half. It's up a little bit. He handles it, just shoots it out the other way. Drives in RBI number 118. What a monster season he's having.
Jake Lamb is on deck, and now it's Walker. Junior Fernandez also getting loose in the Cardinal pen. Christian Walker solo home run to center field back in the fourth. We've got a game 6-4 after the play that was not made and left. The ball that should have been caught. Here's a 1-0 pitch with 2 runners on. And Walker hits it out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 2017 Pacific Coast League MVP. And the 1-1. Be interesting to see how Mike Shildt handles this if Christian Walker gets aboard. You've got Lamb, left-handed batter. You got a lefty getting loose, and that might be it for Wainwright, but we'll see how it plays out. Pitch count at 91. This will be his last inning one way or another. He is due up in the 6th for the Cardinals. Here's a 1-2 pitch by Wainwright. Curveball, check swing, tough play for Carpenter, bare hands, and safe. Everybody's safe, and they're all loaded up on the check swing. This inning's got to be driving old Uncle Charlie nuts.
I tell you, you're right on this one. You execute the pitch that you want. You get the weak contact and don't end up getting the out over there at first base. Just check swing here. Not really hustling out of the box.
Mike Shildt not going to his pen. Lamb 1 for 2 with a single to right. It's 4 consecutive hits in the inning. Closing in on 30 pitches for the inning, nothing in 2.
Well, these are times where you really have to keep yourself calm, collected, and execute a pitch. Adam Wainwright up to 94 pitches, as you mentioned. He's in command of the count. This is where you don't try to get too nasty. You don't try to throw the perfect pitch. You just try to throw the right pitch in the good location.
Cardinals turn to double play back in the 2nd. That's off the plate. And the 1-2. Ripped into right, but Fowler is there with the catch. Here comes a throw to the plate. It is not in time. Rojas scores, and we've got a one-run game. The batter is Adam Jones, single to left and an RBI in the second, also flied out to center. Not a bad throw at all by Fowler.
That play was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Right, good, nice hop.
Runners at first and second. Strike one. Cardinals in the sixth inning, by the way, have Wainwright due up first.
Ball was hit on a line right there to Dexter Fowler. Good footwork right there. Got right through the ball.
So 2 outs and 2 on. No balls, 1 strike. Adam Jones. Hit down the right field line, but slices foul and out of play. 0-2. Nothing in 2 the count. And a swing and a miss. Strikes out Jones. They'll strand a pair, but they're right back in the game. 6-5. We head to the 6th. Is that the only change? Sure. Jimmy Sherfy, Chevy called to the pen. 14th appearance. And Ronhel Ravello will pinch hit for Adam Wainwright. So both starters are now out of the game. Be Ravello, Fowler, and Edman. 6-5 our score. Young, the lefty starter, went 5 innings, 6 runs on 7 hits, struck out 5, walked a pair, and gave up 3 home runs. Edman, Goldschmidt, a 2-run homer, and Molina, a 2-run shot. Hit out of play. 0-2.
Well, it seemed like the entire series against the Cubs, the Cardinals had an answer. Now they still have a lead, but let's hope they have an answer. You know, they get punched. They've been counter-punching pretty well down the stretch.
And Ravello sends one out to center, but Dyson is under it to make the catch. Budweiser, what's on tap? Jack Flaherty, who is dominant in his last time out against the Cubs at Wrigley. Game 1 of that series will go tomorrow and will come your way at 8. Mike Leake, the former Cardinal. Flaherty, Leake, tomorrow at 8. Budweiser, what's on tap? He has just been ridiculous in the second half.
Well, pick a game, any game after the All-Star break, and you can use the word dominant. That's exactly what he's been.
The top of the lineup, and Dexter Fowler, he is 0 for 3, pair of strikeouts tonight. Also grounded out to third and looks at a ball, 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, there's a long time before you get to this part of it. When you talk about Jack Flaherty, he's already got himself in the conversation as like a dark horse candidate for the Cy Young. You'd have to believe that going into the season next year, his name's going to be talked about quite a bit when it comes to that award.
I was throwing his name out beginning of this year.
Well, you should. Yeah, I mean, we all knew that he had that kind of stuff. But I think that on more of a national level,
sure,
people are getting to know who he is.
Three and one the count. Three and two. Struck him out, and Fowler strikes out for the third time.
Well, just a perfect pitch right here. It's breaking ball, back door. Not much you could do about it. It was a strike. Dexter not happy, but it was a good pitch.
Here's Tommy Edman. He's been on base 3 times. Breaking ball and a strike. 2 outs and nobody on. Cardinals 2 and 3 hitters tonight have done some damage. 3 for 4, a couple of home runs. They've scored 4 runs. Goldschmidt on deck. And the 1-1 pitch. 1 and 2. And with 2 strikes, they will shift here on Tommy Edman.
I think Tommy can easily shoot the ball the other way. I've seen Colton Wong get so good at that.
Yanks had foul. Wong, you just saw the fact that the ball was getting deep. He cut down on the front leg kick and just put a premium on putting the ball in play. And I mean, you talk about a guy that's made some adjustments.
Yeah.
Man.
Trust his hands, and his hands are so fast.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with his swing and his power. Talking about Colton Wong again, is the fact that he can still hit the long ball.
And a liner that is caught. Midway through 6, Cardinals up by a run. Blues regular season, it is almost here, but preseason action tomorrow at 7. You can see that on Fox Sports Go. Game summary: 6-5. Wainwright goes 5. Paul Goldschmidt 1 for 2 with a home run in his return. Young 5 innings, 7 hits. The starter 6 earned. And Walker 3 for 3, the replacement for Goldschmidt here in the desert, with a home run and a couple of runs scored. Ryan Helsley, the new pitcher, in for St. Louis. 7, 8, and 9 for the Diamondbacks.
Well, in a battle of the bullpens right now, you got to like the Cardinals' chances. Got a lot of arms that Mike Schilt can deploy down there. The group's been so good overall. Love to see him add to the lead that they have, and all starts here though. Got to be able to just have a quick inning, get right back to hitting.
There's Nick Ahmed, the shortstop for Arizona. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You're reading the scouting report on Helsley. If you're the Diamondbacks, said, all right, well, this kid's got 98 to 100. You try to gear up for that, then all of a sudden he throws that slider right there down and away.
And that's why the Cardinals are so high on Ryan Helsley. Power stuff when it's all right and puts it all together. Be great. Edman, almost a tremendous play. On the backhand, knocked it down. That'll be a base hit for Nick Ahmed. Hyundai pitch arsenal on Ryan Helsley.
Well, with the high-octane fastball, good slider, curve, will mix it a changeup as well to the lefties. But that fastball slider combination from Helsley, I mean, those are the two go-tos, and they are good ones. Love to see another ground ball right here.
Carson Kelly 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. These are two guys that know each other very well, Carson Kelly and Ryan Helsley. Abraham Almonte, a switch hitter on deck. Genesis Cabrera throwing in the Cardinals' pen. That's fouled back.
You'd have to believe that Carson Kelly is going through right now. All right, man, if I had Helsley, like, what would I call? What would I try to bury a right-handed hitter with?
It backs up, and it's a strikeout of Kelly, the third time he's been retired via the strikeout.
Carson Kelly probably geared up for the fastball, gets a breaking ball, catches way too much of the plate, not where he wants it right there with 2 strikes, but kept him off balance, got the punch out.
Abraham Almonte pinch hitting here in the 6th inning. Wainwright went 5 innings, 5 runs, 8 hits, struck out 6, walked 2, gave up a home run, and now Helsley has recorded his first out. Almonte grounds it to Goldschmidt. Out there, back to the bag. It's a double play. 3-6-3 on the double play. Healthcare difference maker. I was wondering about the throw of Paul Goldschmidt, and he had to kind of lob this over the runner to lead DeYoung back to him. So he didn't get the chance to put everything he wanted on it, but watch this. Right over him. And that's a perfect throw.
It's not easy either. It takes a really good timing right there. I think oftentimes you'll see a younger, less experienced first baseman turn and try to, throw one kind of through the runner, or you'll pull your shortstop off the bag a little bit. It's a good throw. It's under control. That's a big thing on the double play. He knows right there that ball's hit to him. He's got some time. He can make the nice, easy throw. He can get himself back to the bag. And look, that's reps. That's why the Cardinals didn't acquire Paul Goldschmidt solely because he's a Gold Glove caliber first baseman. But my goodness, does it make a difference? You've seen it this year.
Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. And again, a nice round of applause for Goldschmidt. First game back with St. Louis here in Arizona. Walked and scored in a 2-run homer and also flied to center. New pitcher is Kevin Ginkel. Or Chevy called to the pen. Here's a 1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's a 1-1. Kevin Ginkel.
Usually you see pitchers try to kind of utilize their height a little bit, try to get a little bit bigger on the mound, get downhill. Ginkel really coils up. I think we've seen a couple of fairly unorthodox looks. Scherfy really had the big breaking ball that he sold with the entire body. Now you have Ginkel here that really gets down into it.
And he chased and a strikeout of Goldschmidt. Cardinals vacations. Thinking about heading to spring training in Jupiter, Florida. Think Cardinals vacations. It's a 7th strikeout in the Cardinal lineup tonight. And here's Marcell Ozuna. He's going to try to hit one to the moon. Sometimes if he makes a mistake, that ball that dropped, he would tell you should be caught, is when then he gets locked in.
We've seen it time and time again this season.
Over the 2 years, he had a couple of plays in left field where he scaled the wall, let's just say a little shy of catching the ball. And the games after that, he went on a tear.
Well, these are the guys, when I think of October baseball, certainly to me pitching stands out, and the starting pitching for the Cardinals has been so good down the stretch, so good overall for the year. But I also think about middle of the order, like who can carry you. Paul Goldschmidt can carry you. Marcell Ozuna can carry you. I know going into a game,
The young streaky.
yeah, you're right. And look, going into a series with those guys on fire, that's scary for any pitching staff.
The 2-2 pitch.
But that has been something we've seen a lot here recently out of the Cardinals, and they're playing some great baseball. It's contributions up and down the lineup. It's not the same guy every night. Certainly, I think they'd be okay if you're rattling off wins to be carried by one guy or a couple of guys offensively, but that just hasn't been it. It's been everybody in on this.
Ozuna with the 1-out walk. On base for the 3rd time as he has a couple of doubles and a walk, and now Yadier Molina picked up an RBI in the 1st. Base hit to shallow left, and also a 2-run homer to left field. His 10th of the year. It's the 3rd walk the Cardinals have received tonight. A lot of room on the right side. And Molina on the first pitch pops it up. Back in the 5th inning, and a long one off the bat of Yadier Molina.
He got a belt-high sinker, and Yadi knew as soon as he swung that this thing was way out of here. Cardinals been showing off the power today. 3 long balls. Let's do it again. Why not?
And a check on Marcell Ozuna. Was 12 stolen bases this year. Out of play. The 0-2 pitch to Yadier Molina. First time he is struck out tonight. 2 in the inning. And the batter will be Paul DeYoung.
Seen a couple of really good sliders from Ginkel. He punched out Ozuna on a late breaker. This one here just drops off the table. Middle of the zone, just down under.
DeYoung, couple of strikeouts and a lineout, and a diving catch made by Jake Lamb down at third. The shift on the left side of the infield for Paul, and they're holding the runner at first, so a huge gap there. Just stick the bat out if he wanted to and send it into right field. But that's not his game. Giovanni Gallegos throwing in the Cardinal pen, a check on Marcell Ozuna.
That is a whole lot of real estate. Wow. It kind of looks like if you're coaching a little league game, you're like, who was playing second? Billy. Where's Billy?
Right.
Well, we've already seen Ginkel in this inning bury 2 very good hitters with that slider of his. So if you're DeYoung, you got to be thinking slider, you got to be thinking away, and that's where that hole really comes into play on that right side. Just put something in play here.
DeYoung with 29 home runs. And he strikes out. So Ginkel strikes out 3. Time to stretch.
Well, the Cardinals up 6-5 at the bottom of the 7th. We'll check in with Jim Hayes. Jimmy, what's going on?
Jose Martinez had that pinch hit triple in the top of the 9th at Wrigley yesterday that sparked the Cardinal comeback. Jose told me it's just another day in the life of a member of the Cardinals bench mafia. The bench mafia, according to Jose, are the guys that come through when called upon, but also keep the bench energized and raucous. Jose told me, we're always preparing to be ready when needed, but we also bring some support and confidence to the guys that are out there. I asked Jose if he's the Don of the bench mafia. He told me we're all Don. Favello, Munoz, anyone who can go in the game and help the team. Dan, hashtag bench mafia is a thing on Twitter, and someone has even made T-shirts.
Jimmy, that had to be a tough interview to get with Jose Martinez. I mean,
and I don't know what qualifies as tough, Dan. They're all pretty easy. You go, hey, can I grab you real quick? And
no, they're not, Jim. Let's not lie to the viewing audience. Some are a little tougher than others.
Just tell it like it is. They're all professional athletes that enjoy a little immediate attention.
All right.
Dan.
Okay.
You know that.
All right.
Bench Mafia. Get one of those. Get one of those T-shirts.
Thank you, Jimmy. Giovanni Gallegos, and a strike to Dyson. Nothing at 2. He is struck out, grounded out, singled, and scored. That was the ball. That was the fly ball that was hit to Ozuna and left and not caught. And then right after that, 3 consecutive base hits. 0-2 pitch. Not only do you want to win the game to reduce the magic number, but to do it quickly if you can wrap up the division, if you get there, to give Gallegos and Gant and some of the others a little breather before postseason play.
It's important. Look, whatever the scenario is for you, good pitch here by Gallegos.
That'll be Carpenter with the catch.
Whatever the scenario ends up being, you'll make that the best scenario for you. So if you had to fight down to the wire, and with the magic number currently at 4 for the Cardinals, it doesn't look like it should take that long. But look, you'll make that work. You'll say, all right, we got to play down to the wire, and that momentum is really going to carry us into the postseason. But if you could just try to keep these guys as fresh as possible. So, I mean, it doesn't have to be once you've clinched. If you could just offensively put it on somebody and give these guys a little bit of a breather. What has been the story the last couple of years in the postseason? It's been bullpens, right?
Right.
The usage, and you're going to go to the same guys over and over again, and they're going to carry you. You need to be able to build in a little bit if you can as far as rest goes.
Josh Rojas, RBI single to center, walked and also struck out. 1-0 pitch. Two-0 pitch by Gallegos. Eduardo Escobar on deck. Drove in his 118th earlier tonight. The 2-1 pitch hit out of play. Cardinals in their half of the eighth will have Carpenter, Bader, and then Gallegos. His spot. Shift on the right side and a 2-2 pitch to Josh Rojas. Tied him up. It's popped up. Yadi going out and then called off by Goldschmidt with the catch. Reminder that this Saturday and Sunday, all fans receive a 2020 Cardinals Magnet schedule presented by Shelter Insurance. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Good seats still available. The final regular season series, as Chicago will be in town.
Giovanni Gallegos gotten 2 outs, 2 balls put in play. I think a total of about 80 feet.
Yeah. Good pitch. Had Escobar way out in front. He have the 35 home runs. Big at bat right here.
Escobar looking to just do some damage on a heater, thinking that Gallegos is going to try to get ahead. That's been the thing with him. He's felt good about all his pitches in any counts. Another good one there ties up Escobar.
0-2. It's a slider, curveball, whatever you want to call it, but it is flat out nasty.
Yeah, and I think that he does different things with it. Sometimes it will have more of the curve break. I mean, it's all intentional of what he's trying to do and how he wants to make this thing move.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Out of play.
So he showed him the fastball up in the zone a little bit. I expect Gallegos to go right back to that breaking ball, get him to swing over it.
Fly ball. Left center. Ozuna with the catch. Gallegos a scoreless 7th. We head to the 8th in a 1-run game. Yoshihisa Hirano. His 60th appearance in our Chevy called to the pen. So Hirano comes in to face Matt Carpenter. Hirano is a guy that'll stretch and get loose. Contortionist, if you will.
I heard from watching that stretch, I'm not so nimble.
No, me neither. First pitch to Carpenter is taken for a ball, and we're underway here in the 8th inning. 6-5 our score. Carpenter is walked, he is grounded out, and also flied out. I bet you get in those spots every once in a while, though.
I mean, very rarely.
Yeah.
And if so, it's on an accident. If I drop that low,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to get back up.
Shift on the right side, and there's a ball. And it's 2-1.
Toronto's got that really good split finger. But if he leaves one up, I mean, that is right in the wheelhouse of Matt Carpenter. Be able to hook that thing.
2-1. Three-one pitch, and Carpenter takes a strike to make it 3-2.
Matt Carpenter a little bit frustrated on that one, and rightfully so. It looked to be a little bit off the outside corner. Got to get right back in there, though. Tough call.
And a strikeout of Carpenter. So it comes back to get him, and 10 strikeouts in the Cardinal lineup tonight. A reminder that Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. By St. Louis Children's Hospital and Washington University Physicians, Guardians of Childhood, and by Ford, the official car and truck of the Cardinals.
This matchup here, Hirano versus Bader, I think it sets up a little bit better for Bader than against a righty with that tough slider. He's got the split. I think that plays way better to the swing path of Harrison Bader than the slider does. We'll try to stay away from him, though.
You know, if he falls behind, you get that fastball and let him rip like that. John Brebbia getting loose in the Cardinal pen. Tyler O'Neill on deck. O'Neill would be pinch hitting for Gallegos. They're in the 14th inning, tied 10-10, Baltimore and Toronto. Tampa Bay beat Boston 7-4. Nationals over the Phils 7-2, and Miami beat the Mets 8-4. 2-1 pitch. And Bader hits it out to deep left. It is gone! It's a home run, Harrison Bader. I'm not sure, but someone may have called it before it happened. I'm not sure about that, but I don't care. I'll take it, baby. It's 7-5.
Well, Hirano fell behind. He got a fastball, and Bader was all over this thing. This ball's up. It is in. He trusts his hands. He gets the head to it. And look at the bench mafia right there doing their thing.
There's Tyler O'Neill, and there's a swing and a miss. Now, I just did I point at you and say that Bader was going to hit a home run?
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, totally beforehand. It was the
but I
point
didn't
to
say
the
it on the
screen,
air.
and then say out of there. I liked it. It set up well. You're right. A guy that doesn't have that equalizer against Harrison Bader.
Fall behind, he'll jump on that fastball. And O'Neill lifts one into right center. Dyson over to make the catch. And there's two away. It's a huge home run. That 2-run cushion with 6 outs to go.
It's big. I mean, the Cardinals need to continue to pile on. You love your bullpen, and you like the way that things stack up right now. You're able to go to your guys, but you need more. You need to be able to keep piling on, and we've seen it. We've seen it over the second half. Certainly in the month of September, the Cardinals have done such a good job of that, not being content with where they're at, not just having that one big inning. It's putting up crooked numbers throughout the game.
Dexter Fowler is 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. That'll neutralize a lefty. That'll neutralize anybody. That
Pretty
pitch.
good. Get behind. That looks like a heater up out of the hands.
Here's a 1-1. And the 1-2 pitch now to Fowler. I would say Wieters, Wong, Fowler have done a really good job with 2 strikes. Once the 2 strikes happen, the exaggerated shift of trying to take the ball the other way. That trio.
It's an approach. I mean, that's something. Look around baseball. Not too many people have 2-strike approaches. Good take right there. So important to just be able to shorten up sometimes. Put the ball in play. Why try to do too much?
It's a conscious effort too. I think.
Yes.
You know,
it
you
is.
see it. 3-2. Let's see if Dexter can add to this Cardinal lead. And Fowler a strikeout for the 4th time tonight. Harrison Bader, the home run. Some insurance late. It's 7-5. We're back in Arizona. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Chase Field, 7-5. And John Brebbia, the new pitcher. First baseman Christian Walker leads it off 4, 5, and 6 here in the bottom of the 8th. So far, so good from the Cardinal bullpen. Helsley and Gallego scoreless innings. Up and in for ball 1.
I think it's also going to be interesting to see what happens really in the 9th inning. You got a couple of guys in Andrew Miller and Carlos Martinez that have been worked a lot here recently. Andrew threw in 3 of the 4 games against the Cubs. It was 4 straight for Carlos Martinez. Had the day off yesterday. See how these guys respond.
It is interesting how ball clubs will tell you if it's a day game, how that extra rest means something to them. I mean, we say it, and you're different. You played the game and you played at this level, but you say, well, he pitched on Saturday, so he had Sunday off. Well, a lot of times teams will look at it and say, well, it was a day game, so you get the extra rest on Saturday night coupled with Sunday. Then you had all day today leading up to the game time, so it's almost like 2 days rest.
Yeah, no, it really does help. I mean, any extra time ends up helping, and ultimately you're going to listen to your guys. You're going to have those conversations. Mike Schilt talked about that before the game, is, hey, we're going to let Andrew, we're going to let Carlos go out there, go through their work, and they're going to let us know how they feel.
Up and in again, and it's 2-2. Cardinals in the 9th will have Edman, Goldschmidt, Ozuna. And a swing and a miss and a strikeout to start the 8th.
Brebbia climbs the ladder right here against Walker. It's 94. It's up. It's away. It's a perfect pitch right there. He sees it up, thinks he can barrel it. Not so much.
Here's Jake Lamb. First pitch, a strike. Lamb is singled to right, lined out to center, and also lined out to right with the bases loaded, but picked up an RBI. 1 ball and 1 strike. Out of play. Inside corner, struck him out. Back-to-back Ks to start the bottom of the 8th.
It's a great pitch. That is a great pitch. Fastball in, trying to make sure that you know if you make the mistake, let it leak over the plate. Lamb can hurt you. This one gets the call in just off the plate. Seen some calls on that side of the plate from home plate umpire David Rackley tonight.
Now Adam Jones, single to left, picked up an RBI, his 66th, fly to center, and struck out. And a foul ball for strike 1. Pair of right-handers getting loose in the Arizona bullpen. Carlos Martinez starting to throw in the Cardinal pen. A beauty in there for strike 2.
Just a good slider, backs up a little bit, still at the bottom of the strike zone though. He's going to go slider again. Got to make sure you get this thing away with 2 strikes.
And it's in the air. Shallow center. Edman calling for it. He's got it. John Brebbia, a 1-2-3. Postseason right around the corner. It all begins October 1st. Don't want to miss it. The Cardinals will be there. And they're edging closer to being the NL Central champs. They're up by 2. We are in the 9th. John Duplantier. Tommy Edman to lead it off. Edman has been on base 3 times. Home run, a single, was hit by a pitch. Cardinals trying to take the magic number down to 3. And the 2-1 pitch to Tommy Edman. 3-1. Goldschmidt on deck. Here's a 3-1 to Tommy Edman. Inside and a leadoff walk. Cardinals receiving their 4th walk tonight.
First baseman.
The night for Paul Goldschmidt started with a video tribute, standing ovation every time he's come to the dish. Walked and scored the first, and a 2-run homer in the 3rd, his 32nd, and that is your Budweiser play of the game.
I know that Paul Goldschmidt plays everything very close to the vest. He hates the limelight. He just goes to work every single day, and he tries to get better every day, and he wants to win every day. I have to imagine some of those emotions crept in a little bit today. It was a little bit more than maybe just a baseball game after 8 years here in Arizona, an organization that drafted him, getting so ingrained, as you talked about before, Dan, in the community. It's a lot.
Cardinals have Carlos Martinez getting loose in the bullpen. The 1-0 pitch instead of check on Edman, who's got 14 stolen bases, on base 4 times tonight. And the 1-0.
It's been a special day already, Dan. How about another home run? Little hanging breaking ball. Good breaking ball right there.
Cardinals have home runs hit tonight by Edman, Goldschmidt, Molina, and Bader. A 7-5 lead. They've been out hit 9-8 in this game. Both teams have committed an error.
You don't get rung up on that pitch in your old house.
No, sir.
Not on the first day you're back.
No.
You take that one and then you hit this one.
Let's see the 2-2 instead of check on Edman. Nick Ahmed is due up first, looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th. Carson Kelly, and then a pinch hitter. The 2-2 pitch to Paul Goldschmidt. Chops it left side, and he'll beat it out. It's an infield hit. On base for the 3rd time. Lamb had a little issue getting it out of the glove.
We've seen Goldie in this game show off the power, and now the wheels. He chops this thing directly off the plate. I mean, this thing just puts it in play, but slams it right off the plate in front of him, and he's running hard the whole way. And that's all it took for Lamb. That quick little couldn't get the transfer. Ended up being the difference there. Would have been bang bang even if he had the perfect transfer.
Brings in Ozuna, who also is 1 shy, along with DeYoung, of 30 home runs this year. Runners at first and second, and nobody out here in the top of the 9th, with the Cardinals leading 7-5. The long mound visit here will come to a close. Lefty Robbie Scott throwing in the bullpen for Arizona. The pitch taken down and in by Marcell Ozuna. We had a long conversation, by the way, in the on-deck circle with Yadier Molina. You gotta wonder if those two maybe picked up on something that they saw with this right-hander.
Well, you know that they're very good at it. Yadi picks up stuff really well. All it takes is a little something. You see the arm's a little different on the breaking ball. You see the glove is a tiny bit different.
The 2-0 way inside, 3 balls and no strikes. Three and one. He walked him and the bases are loaded. 2 walks in the inning and an infield hit. They're all loaded up and nobody out. They're all loaded up for Yadi. Picked up an RBI back in the first. A base hit to shallow left. 2-run homer and struck out. The infield drawn in. And a chance to bust it wide open. Strike one.
What was the percentage you said you thought were Cardinal fans here, Dan?
40.
I'm thinking it's higher. As Yadi was coming up, you hear chants of Yadi. People are pumped up, ready for a special moment. Already seen a big one early. Pretty good career numbers with the bases loaded, looking at a 7th Grand Slam.
No balls and 2 strikes. Nothing in 2 on Yadier Molina with the bases loaded. The next pitch to him, and it's hit out of play. The 0-2 pitch to Yadier Molina with the bases loaded. Bounced, and Edman will stay put at third base. The work of Carson Kelly behind the plate.
Does a really good job of just making sure this thing stays in front of him. You see, he gets his body squared up so that thing doesn't kick way off. That's something that is incredibly important in situations like this. You know, you have to be able to bury a pitch. You got to trust in your catcher that he can get it done, that he can block that for you in the dirt.
Here's a 1-2. Now it's 2-2.
Here comes that fastball away that Yadi we've just seen shoot the other way. Base hit to the right side.
The 2-2 pitch to Yadier Molina. Fouled back, and he had a good rip. DeYoung on deck, nobody out, and the base is loaded. The next pitch, Molina serves it out to left center, and it is a sliding catch. 2 runners will tag up. Edman will score. Heads up play by Goldschmidt to tag up from second to third, and Ozuna back to the bag at first. A run scores, makes it 8-5.
It's a big run. It's a productive at-bat by Yadi. Gets this thing out in the outfield, able to drive in the run. I think he just tripped right there in left field. Still able to make the play. Tommy Edman scores, and the Cardinals add to it.
Robbie Scott will come in. DeYoung coming up, and the Cardinals trying to add on. Robbie Scott is the new pitcher. He's had a week of rest, so the lefty comes in with runners at first and third. And he will face Paul DeYoung. DeYoung has struck out 3 times and also lined out to Jake Lamb. Crowd tonight of 24,826. 2-4, 8, 2, 6.
What a good amount of those wearing red tonight, and every one of them been cheering for Paul Goldschmidt.
Cardinals have opened up a 3-run lead here in this 9th inning. First pitch to Paul DeYoung. Taken for a ball. Boy, a week off for a guy coming out of the bullpen is an eternity.
It's hard to have feel. Like you have to work so hard to keep yourself sharp, whether it be playing flat ground catch, get on the mound every once in a while. But it's hard to come into a spot like this. Big game. Their season's on the line. If Diamondbacks lose, their season's over as far as postseason play is concerned.
2 balls, no strikes.
Dangerous place to be against Paul DeYoung.
And the ball gets away from Carson Kelly. Another run will score. That's Goldschmidt. He'll score on the wild pitch. I'm going to rule that a pass ball. And it's 3-0 on DeYoung with Carpenter on deck. Now a 9-5 St. Louis lead. And 4 pitches and a walk. 3 walks in the inning, 6 in the game for St. Louis.
Well, you said it. When you have a week off coming out of the bullpen, it's hard to be sharp. Certainly the case so far for Scott, and you would have to think that, I mean, this is left on left against Matt Carpenter. John Gant getting going in the Cardinal bullpen with the 4-run lead now, able to sit Carlos Martinez down. You have to think he's going to try to attack him with that slider. Hasn't had a good feel for it. Like to see one up in the zone, hanging in there.
Carpenter tonight is grounded out to second. He has walked, he's flied to center, and also struck out. Cardinals, 6 walks they've received. They've struck out 11 times. They've got 9 hits and they lead at 9-5. And the 0-1 pitch to Carpenter. Kept in front by Kelly. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Carpenter. Boy, that's close to being a balk. That was close.
He was able to get himself turned around.
Barely.
But he got there.
And the 1-1 pitch. Two and 1 the count. And Carpenter sends one in the air out to deep left center. Dyson with room to make the catch on the track. 2 runners tagging up from second to third.
Center fielder, Harrison Bader.
There's Harrison Bader. Jose Martinez is moved to the on-deck circle. He would be the pinch hitter for Brebbia if we get there. Base hit here would be huge. He is homered tonight. He was robbed on a barehanded play by the third baseman Lamb. Twice he has flied to center. Runners at second and third. And the first pitch taken for his strike, catches the outside corner. Ahmed, Carson Kelly, and then the pitcher spot due up. The 0-1. Now 0-2.
This offense today just keeps fighting, don't they? They just keep battling. 2 in the first, 2 in the third, 2 in the fifth. Added 1 in the 8th. 2 so far here in the 9th. Just keep on going.
Oh, 2 pitch. Taken in the dirt, 1-2.
You just see by the way that Harrison takes that, the breaking ball from the lefty. I mean, he sees that the whole time, can pick up the spin, sees it under the zone. He's going to have to come to him.
That home run gave him 38 runs batted in, a new single season high at the big league level. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Hit down the right field line as he spoiled it.
Dan, this atmosphere is a lot like it was over the weekend, is it not?
Yeah, you can feel it. You can also hear everybody here, too, in their conversations. Bader puts it in play, chopped to third, long throw, quickly over, and got him. Nine hits aside, an error aside, and a 9-5 St. Louis lead. So Brebbia staying in the ballgame after a very efficient 8th with a pair of strikeouts. And the first batter will be Nick Ahmed. 9-5 St. Louis, 3 outs away from a magic number of 3. And the first pitch is hit in the air into deep right center. Bader is over, and it's gone. It's a solo home run for Nick Ahmed, his 19th of the year. And that might get Carlos Martinez back up in a hurry.
I would think so. Carlos does pop up in the bullpen and start throwing. It's just a fastball up and away here by John Brebbia, and just catches way too much of the plate.
It's now a 9-6 game. Here's Carson Kelly.
Again, though, the solo shots don't kill you. It's one swing of the bat. Who cares? For John Brebbia, it's just time to go right back to work. Pounding the strike zone, getting ahead, just like we're seeing him do here.
1 ball, 1 strike. Carson Kelly is struck out 3 times tonight. 0 for 3. Trying to elevate, and with that, a full count.
Well, you certainly don't want to walk Kelly after the home run, but a good slider here would be a great pitch.
Pitcher spot now. And Molina out to visit, give Martinez more time to get loose. So a solo home run. A walk here in the 2nd inning of work by John Brebbia. And Mike Schilt coming out to make a move. That'll be it for Brebbia. And the scoreless 8th with a couple of strikeouts and then a solo home run and a walk, and Carlos Martinez coming on. Carlos Martinez into the ball game. Our Chevy called to the pen. Had 4 straight, then the day off, and now back at it. Trying to finish off the Diamondbacks here in game 1. The highest save percentage in the National League this year. The Cardinals 75% ahead of Cincinnati and the Phillies, and that's minus for the most part Jordan Hicks.
Yeah, how about that? I mean, you lose your closer, and then you're able to have somebody like Carlos Martinez be able to step in, and on days when he's unavailable. Look at the options that Mike Schilt has had down there. It's been Miller. It's been Giovanni Gallegos. A strong pen.
Ildemaro Vargas, which is a player that was signed by the Cardinals back in 2008. Played 7 years in the minor leagues for St. Louis. Last year coming in 2014. Switch hitter. Short lead at first by Carson Kelly. And a fly ball into center. There's Bader. And there's out number one.
Center fielder, Joe Dyson.
Here's Dyson. It would have to be hard hit to double him up with his speed. Hits from the left side of the plate. Singled and scored back in the 5th. Popped out to third. Grounded out to second. Struck out on 3 pitches his first time up.
Yeah, you'd think it would have to be one of those ones where he just pulls it hard to Goldschmidt.
Yeah. Hit to second, out there, low throw, back to first, and safe.
I wanted to be wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, this ball is hit pretty hard. It's an efficient turn there by Tommy Edman and Paul DeYoung, but he is flying out of the box.
Josh Rojas. It's a 3-run lead, and you'd like to see Escobar just stay on deck.
Yeah, he can watch from there. It's a great seat.
We'll play behind the runner. Dyson with 2 outs. Left-handed bat up. There goes Dyson to second base. Fielder's indifference. So no stolen base there. Cardinals 1 out away from a magic number of 3. And the 0-1 pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rojas has walked. He picked up an RBI single back in the 5th inning. Also scored a run. Inning in which the Diamondbacks scored 3. Fly ball left field. Ozuna is over and foul. On the air tomorrow at 8. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jack Flaherty going tomorrow. The Diamondbacks 1 strike away from being officially eliminated from postseason play. Cardinals thinking a magic number of 3. Cardinal fans here in attendance on their feet. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the next by Martinez. Fouled back in a good rip. The 1-2 pitch by Martinez. And a fly ball lifted in the air into right center. That's trouble, and it gets down. A run will score. Rojas will stop at second base. And the tying run will come to the plate.
Well, I like the idea of the changeup here, but the execution. You want that thing under the zone so he can swing over. It's bottom of the zone here. Look at this point, still got a little bit of cushion. Didn't want to have to face this guy, but got to get right back to work.
This is where they're dangerous. 3 and 4 in their lineup. This is the side of the plate that Escobar has tremendous power. 24 of his 35 home runs. First pitch, a strike. He represents the tying run. The shift on the right side. He is 0 for 4 head-to-head against Carlos Martinez. The 0-1 pitch. Now 0-2. Again down to their final strike.
Let's go, Tsunami!
0-2 in the dirt. Escobar tonight grounded out to first, to second, fly to left, RBI single to left in inning number 5. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That was that changeup right there that he was trying to throw to Rojas. That one that just bounced in front of the plate trying to get the swing. Now you've shown him that changeup under the zone. You got him out there on the front foot. Elevated fastball could get him, or you could go back to it.
The 1-2, ground ball foul. Cardinals trying to make it win number 6 in a row. One ball, 2 strikes. Next by Martinez.
Want to talk it over, make sure they're on the same page right here. It's a big pitch. You throw something without the conviction behind it, you leave it hanging, all of a sudden we've got ourselves a tie ball game. Want to make sure that everybody's in lockstep here.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Tying run at the plate. The next by Martinez. The 3-2 pitch. He got him. He got him. Magic number is at 3. Win number 90 for St. Louis. They are now 90-67 with a magic number of 3.
Went with the slider, ended up getting him at the end, and got interesting. The Cardinals showed off the power. 4 home runs tonight, and that is a beautiful, beautiful thing with the magic number. Keep on counting down. Overall team effort, and I know a special night for that gentleman, Paul Goldschmidt.
Return of Paul Goldschmidt hits a home run tonight. More importantly, though, the Cardinals win the ball game. 9-7 the final post-game show comes your way next.